Now, let's brainstorm and think again how, what kind of information we can enter about an employee. We can probably add a new employee, right? We can add a change to an existing employee. We can delete an employee, and we can undelete an employee. So there is a lot of things we can do with, a lot of different kinds of information we can enter about employee. So I will just I will change this label a little bit, and I will say enter employee information menu. This will also be a menu because we want the user to choose what kind of information he will be or she will be entering about an employee. So we'll have more buttons here. Here we go. So like we said, add new, employee, change, delete, and delete. Okay. So I have add new, change, delete, and undelete. With regard to display information, we can either display all employees or we can display one employee. Again, this is just, you could also display a lot of other different things about employees, but this is what I'm going to write in this program. What we're going to write together. Display all employees. Okay. So we added a few more buttons here, and now I would like you to go back to our program. Go to our form 1 and form 2 and form 3 design, and add those buttons there. So like I said, we're gonna change this label to, okay, we're gonna change this label to enter employee information menu. and same is going to be done to form 3. We're gonna put menu, the word menu at the end, because it's not just displaying employee information, it's the menu. What kind of information we want to be displayed. Save. And now I would like you to stop the video and try to create these buttons yourself. You should be able to do it at this point. Okay, this was 1, 2. Okay, so now I hope you had the chance to create these buttons, and now I'm going to create them as well. So form 2. Always save your work. So design, form 3 design. Here we need only 2 buttons. Again, as you notice, it doesn't really matter how you put the buttons, horizontally or vertically. The functionality does not change. You want to make it comfortable for the user and look nice, but it doesn't really matter so much. Okay, now let's try to run the program. Enter info. Of course, there's nothing going on when we click on the buttons, and that's because we didn't write any code for any of these buttons. Only the exit works. Let's try again. Exit. So I invite you to think how we can improve the program at this point. So when we first start the program goes to form 1. right? The program goes to form 1. And then let's say we want to enter information about the employee. And we click on this button, and we're taken to form 2. And then we forget, oh, I didn't really want to enter the information. I really wanted to display first, and maybe, to see what's there first. And we click on exit, and that, instead of taking us back to main menu, it throws us out of the program. That's not very user-friendly. We have to start the program again and again every time we want to do something, either look up an employee or change an employee. We have to always start the program from the beginning. That's not very convenient. So what we want to do is, let's run it again. I'll show you. When you enter info, when you press on enter info, so you go to form 2, right? And from this form 2, when you press exit, you want to go back to form 1, right? Not to close the program. So this is what we're going to do now. So in form 2, the exit button will take us back to form 1, main menu. How do we do this? That's code that you don't have to remember. But you don't have to fully understand. But you can copy it from form 1 if you want to. I'm going to type it again to give you a chance to think what I should put after the word form in here. Notice it's not it underlined it. The Visual Basic is sort of found there is an error, and it tells you, look, there is an error there. It's a very VB.NET Microsoft Visual Studio is very friendly environment to programming. It finds a lot of typos. If you forget to capitalize something, it will capitalize it for you automatically, or change the case to whatever it has to be. So it doesn't like this. And if you look back in form 1, there should be a number here, right? So let's go back to form 2. Should be a number here. So remember, in form 1, we went, for example here, we went from form 1 to form 3, right? So this is the number where we want to go. So if you go to form 2, when we press exit button on the form 2, where do we need to go? We need to go to form 1, right? It's not liking something. Form 1 is not defined. Oh. Okay. Who knows what's wrong here? I will not be able to hear your answers, so I'll just say it myself. So I have to write, I just misspelled the word form. So this is your first, this is your introduction to debugging. The computer, the VB.NET found an error and it didn't let me proceed, and it wouldn't be able to run this program, and I would have to find the error. So now let's test it. First save it and let's test it now. So enter info, exit. So it went back to main menu. Enter info, exit. Now we can exit here. Now let's run it again. So enter info, exit. Display info, exit. So what do we have to do now? We have to do the same thing in form 3, basically. So I'll give you some time to do it. And now I'll do it myself also. So I'm going to copy it from here to here. That's it. I just had to copy it. That's it. Okay, let's run again. Again, I have to mention that it's important when you program to write a little bit code and test it. Write a little bit code and test it. Do not write a lot of code and then test it at the very end once, because you're going to have a lot of errors and you will not have an idea where they came from. If you write a little bit code and test it, if you test the code often, you're gonna love yourself for that, because you're gonna program more smoothly. You will have less errors. You will catch them late. You will catch them earlier. And always say. Okay. So the last thing that I would like you to do today is we're going to go to form 1 design, and we're going to put the label here, and we're going to write I'm sorry, we're not going to write anything. Wow. We'll just leave it as label 1. And what we are going to do Instead of double clicking on the button, we're going to double click on the form itself. And you see, instead of saying button 1, private sub button 1 click, it says private sub form 1 load, which means form 1 load is also an event, which means whatever code goes here is done, is executed when form is loading. As soon as form is loaded, it's executed. It doesn't wait for the user to press anything. And here we can also, instead of going to the property window, we can change our text from here. Main menu. Okay, let's try to run it and see what happens. Somehow I lost that display info label. Okay. Save it. Okay, so let's run it again. So you can see it says main menu. So as soon as the form loaded, we put main menu on the label. We can do other things like that. For example, the exit button. We can change the text on the exit button. Let's put button 1 back again. Yeah, it's not liking it. I don't know why. Well, let's put nothing on the button. Oh, so what happened right now? The program was still running. I didn't exit the program. That's why it didn't let me. It did not let me change anything on the form. So right now we'll just put button 1. And when we load the program, so we're going to double click on the form itself, and it sends us back to this form load clause. Let's have a comment here. When the user first starts the program, these instructions are executed. These instructions are executed. So in form 1 load, we have to also change the property of button 1. Specifically, we have to change the text property of button 1. say exit when we run the program. Let's run it. See, main menu, exit. Great. Okay, so I can exit. So at this point, I would like to the substitute instructor make sure that everybody is up to speed and understands everything, and everything is working. And I'm going to stop working on the human resources program, and I'm going to give you your first homework. So your first homework will be writing tic-tac-toe game, where two people would be able to play it. Now, you will not be able to finish the game completely, but I would like you to, as a homework, to make the design and the buttons. And if you click on the button, an X or a circle will appear. Let's try to plan it together. So this will be a form for the tic-tac-toe game. Tic-tac-toe game will have 9 buttons. And these buttons will be empty when the user runs the program. They will not have any text on them. And when the user clicks on the button, there should be text appearing on the button. You will not be able to make this tic-tac-toe game work, completely yet, because we haven't covered everything you need to finish this game. But next time I'll give you more information, and you will be able to finish this game later on. So for now, I just want you to create the form with buttons, and when you click on the button, X or a circle will appear. You can use X and O. Also, you will have to make sure they're, good size. It looks pretty. Of course, you're gonna have to have this exit button here. So try to write this game, and if you have questions, ask the substitute instructor or email me your question.